Hello, Mr. Bond. Hi, hello. So, this is weird. I know. But I just was bored and I have stuff to do, of course. However, I said, you know what? No, I will not do anything today. I want to put on my makeup on and I want to take a couple of pictures. But I thought, maybe I could do something that I also have been wanting to do for a while, which is talk about personal style. I know that if you look at me, especially now, you're like not qualified. However, here's the thing. For me, it has been a very interesting journey, kind of finding out what I like, how I want to present myself, what I like to wear, and the details, and all of that. And I think, and one of the things that I have been thinking about recently is that I kind of wish I have had a talk kind of like this a while ago. Of course, probably made better because I'm not great at talking. However, I wanted to try it while, again, doing my makeup and preparing for some pictures because why not? Okay, so let's start with the basics. So when I was younger, I have an older sibling, and as parents sometimes do, they kind of got the same things for both of us, but maybe in different colors. So we had the same jumper, pants, dresses, a lot of things were like that. And funny enough, I was always like, I don't like mine, but I like my siblings, which was a bit of a dick move. Like, it's again the same. And now, of course, I know that it was more because being older, I, as a younger sibling, I was like, oh, looking after. So I wanted what she had. However, interesting enough, I recall kind of vividly. Gosh, I scratched that. I recall that I never actually share her style. It was more like because it's obviously better, kind of like that idea. And it took me a while, and by a while I mean years, to be more certain about what I liked. Here's the thing, when you're growing up, I think that it is very normal to, even from childhood to adulthood, after your 20s even, you just experience things. And even after that, you're not meant to just have one style and that's it. And I think in a very interesting kind of mixed signals is that we watch a lot of cartoons and a lot of anime and things like that that share that usual thing of like, oh, they all wear the same thing all the time. And even when they don't, if you think about a few characters that have like changing of clothes, you notice that they still are a team. Basically, and this is something that of course I learned after a long time, is that in movies, in series, in cartoons, in all of it, when you create a character, you have a mood board and you have kind of very clear ideas of what they wear, what the colors are, and exact colors. It's not like green or like red. It's like military green number zero, whatever it is. But it is because in that medium, in a visual medium, there is a whole story to tell and there's a lot of things that you want to express with the character. However, we're no characters. And as silly as it might sound, because trust me, I know it sounds very silly now, I genuinely never thought about it until very, very late in my life. I always thought like, oh, if that style is good and you have to focus on that one and that's it. That's who you are. That's all you are. And the issue is that when you are like me, aka someone that had no clue, not that I know completely, but at the time I have even less of a clue of who I was, then you just go through journeys. And oof, some of those have been rough. And here's the thing, besides that, is the fact that life happens. You don't always have a lot of control on that. However, I do think it is important because, not for everyone, by the way, but for me, I'm an artistic person and I like to express myself. However, as previously stated and clearly throughout this video, I struggle with words and I struggle sometimes with communicating directly. So I use and I like to use a lot of other mediums to express my thoughts and my ideas. And having a particular style, it was clearly a way to do that. But like previously said, if I don't know who I am, then that's never going to actually work because you're just pretending. As a matter of fact, I what I did for so long was to try to copy characters and of all kinds, not only humans but also anime and things like that, and just kind of be like them and just take everything because it seemed to be, oh, I don't want my life, so I want to look like them, and maybe if I look like them, I will live like them and have those adventures. But it's like, you're not gonna get superpowers. So that's not gonna happen to you. Like, you don't live in Tokyo, Japan, so it's not gonna, like, no. As a child, that happens, and it's all right. I think this is something that I wish I had said to myself, especially for a while. It's fine. Yes, it wasn't the best thing ever, but that doesn't define you, and that is not everything you are. If you fall into those things of like wanting and trying to be something that you deem better, it's fine. It happens. You just have to try to go through that as a chapter and learn from it and then find yourself, which again is not easy, but it is possible. Now, for me, I think the first chapter would be, big chapter, of course, was emo phase. And the thing with emo was that, like I said, things happen in life, you cannot always control them. And when they happen, they sometimes make you react in different ways. Depending on who you are, depending on your own personality, you might react in your own personal way. For me, for example, I just reacted by closing myself very much and living in fantasy. And before I was so into the internet, but I wasn't that much. For me, it was emo. Like, that was kind of like my friends were, and I thought that's cool. So I wanted to be like that, and I wanted to. I wanted to be something else, and I wanted to find a way to just exist that was a little bit more fun. And it's a very normal and human thing to wanting to be part of a group and perhaps look a certain way. I never really thought about the fact that I never asked myself during that period, okay, but what do you like? It was never like, okay, which parts of this do you like? You don't have to like everything, just choose some things. But for me, it was like, no, I have to look exactly like that. And the thing is, the interesting thing, and this is one of the reasons that I wanted also to talk about this, is that I didn't have the money to do some of those things and have some of those things. While my friends were in a better place monetarily, they could buy certain things and change the wardrobe. I couldn't do that. I just had to wait until it was time to buy something new, and I would try to choose something that was like that, that could fit into the emo aesthetic. It's hard to be honest about it, but it is important. And it was that I was jealous. I was jealous because I felt that, I'm sorry, why can't I, buy new things? And why do I always have to be the one to just count the money and be like, oh, well, if I buy this, then I cannot buy that? When I see my friends being like having all of it. And that includes a phone, by the way. Sidetrack. It was a Nokia. It was the one that you slide, and that had the music buttons. I think that was the epitome of coolness for me as a child. And my friend had it, and I remember I used that more than her. I'm 100% certain that at school I was like, shit. And I was taking photos and all of it. So, that kind of grows in you even if you don't realize it. And because, again, no one talked to me about these things, it just grew inside. And I didn't hate them, or it wasn't like any of that kind, but I did felt it, but I never accepted it. So I just kind of grew in me that sensation of, oh, it's when I'll have money, and it's when I have, the things, then I will be me, then I will be happy. And of course, it didn't happen. So one of the things that I also remember during this period was that, like I said, I didn't have a lot of money, and but this time was very clear. But I did start by doing DIYs. This was the period in which I started to kind of reuse some of the things that I had. For example, I remember very clearly there was a necklace that we had, but I didn't like a necklace. So I just basically used it as a chain. That's it. I know it sounds very stupid, but at the time it's like, I cracked the code. But that's how I started to just try to see things as how they can become something else and how they can fit my own narrative. That's something that has stayed with me. You know, that's something that happened for various reasons during my childhood years, and that even now stays with me. I love to create my own jewelry. I love to find ways to reuse things and make them fun and interesting. So good things can come out of these things. Because of, again, life, I moved quite a lot, I changed friends and schools and a lot. So when I basically got into a new school, I was still in that emo era. However, I had found about anime. I'm that type. Yeah, I'm that kind of loser. I have to be honest. I will admit to my sins. And being an anime lover, and at the time, a weep is one of them. And hey, now I say it, and I kind of admit it in a kind of fun light because I know that that's something that a lot of people went through, and that we made mistakes, we said things we should not have. But again, it was a normal phase that at the time, as a preteen teen, it happens and it's normal. The important thing is to grow out of it and to learn and be like, yeah, that's not great. Let's take the good things. And that's why I also want to share my story, because I know that many other people went through that as well. Now, I would fully love to sit down and just talk about anime, and I might. But for today's video purpose, I just have to say that one of the things that really struck me from some anime that I watched when I was at that age was the style. And again, because I wanted to have the life, I thought, if I want to have the life, then I have to look like that. And I tried. Did it work? No, it didn't. Of course it didn't. I'm not an anime girl. I'm never gonna look like that. However, I tried, and if I think about it now, of course, I look back and I cringe. I was like, ugh, I actually went out looking like that. I think, however, that it was important because it made me realize that maybe I shouldn't push it. You know, maybe I shouldn't just say, oh, this is the one, and just put it on me. Maybe I should be like, okay, this is nice. Let's put it on. Do I look good in it or not? But of course, at the time, everything was seen as kind of like a no, this is my true nature. I am this. Long story short, I was being a weeb. I was being like, oh, Japan is so much better. You know, I want to learn Japanese. And I knew like baka, and you know, it was that bad. You know, you want to feel like you belong somewhere, that there's a place where you can fully, find yourself, which is interesting enough. The theme of a lot of animes, including one of the animes that made me be like that. I just felt that, oh, this character, it's trying to find who she is and trying to belong somewhere. And I was like, oh, fully. And if I'm like her, then I will find myself. It's like, oh, you fully missed the point, girl. You went over it. You went whoo, over your head. And not gonna lie, that stayed with me for a long time, basically wanting to look. And it was even nothing. Like, it wasn't even, oh, that character. Because then I watched more anime and I wanted to look like another character and I wanted to look like another character. It just kind of felt like, looking back at it, of course, it just kind of felt like I was just trying to be everything at the same time. And because I had no idea who I was, it came out like nothing. Just mediocre. Now, I do want to add to this that during this period, I had moments in which I was watching telenovelas, especially two Argentinian telenovelas, one called Floricienta and one called Patito Feo. When I tell you that it was like I had two personalities, Honestly. I mean, of course, not in a sense of mental illnesses, but in the sense of aesthetically, it was like two completely different people. Because for a moment, I wanted to be, the anime cool girl. And then I wanted to have all these flowers and colors and all this happiness. And then I was again emo. So it was a roller coaster. And one of the interesting experiences I had, I recall, was when we were moving here. You cannot take everything. 15 years of life, you have a lot of stuff, but you cannot take everything with you. You have, sure, a big bag, but you still have a limit. And I remember falling there and being like, should I take this? Should I take that? What represents me? I mean, I'm gonna start a new life. I remember being completely lost because it was like, I like this jacket, but it might be too simple. I need to show myself. I need to be the anime character that arrives to the new school. That's my moment. So the choices weren't great, obviously. And when I arrived here, I remember that in a way, yes, I was able to dress and style myself in ways that I liked, and I still stand by, some of my choices. I stand by it. But I was still very, very lost. For about 5 years or so ish, we didn't had internet at home. Like we had a phone, of course, cell phone, but it didn't have a lot of space in it, and also the data wasn't great. So for me, particularly, it was kind of a fascinating jump from watching anime every day and watching videos and being on the internet all the time to having like once a week maybe that we would go to friend's house and we would use the computer. I think what that helped me in so many ways with anime, with K-pop, and with also social media was that it allowed me to take a step back and kind of really clean myself of it all. I basically just spent a lot of time trying to keep on being, what I thought I was. Because I didn't have all those references anymore, I had to confront, oh, what was it though? Like, was it the plate? Was it the skirt? Was it the dress? Was it the accessory? What was it that, made the style to be me? Slowly but surely, I made a lot of fashion mistakes and I made a lot of moments in which I recall dressing a certain way and being like, "Oh, this looks good." Then I would go outside and I was like, "This was a mistake." And I would buy stuff and be like, "Yeah, this belongs to that category of what I am." And then I would put it on and I would feel so uncertain. I would feel like this isn't it, but this is supposed to be it. That made me start to realize like maybe I don't like that, or maybe I got it wrong. I have to change. Be back in a minute. So let's just say we have a bit of emo. We had our anime phase, or telenovela, colorful phase. Then we had all Hogwarts Victorian era, and then we have just the mess of the fandoms. Basically, all of that collided, and I was like, I like this, and I like this, and I like this. And if I like those things, and it's great, and I like those things, but then do I pick? Who do I choose to express myself? Am I the anime girl, or am I the Hogwarts person? Basically, like if you see me now, everything that I have been saying, you can kind of see. I'm still emo. I mean, I'm officially depressed. So that turns out. And I'm also the anime girl. I still love anime and I love manga, and I would like to go to absolutely every con, and I would love to do so many cosplays. I don't have the time to do it now, but I would love to. Looking at what I have around me, you can see that, as well as I can tell you very openly. I'm none of those things, yet I am all of those things. So if I was to, if someone told me, hey, go back in time and tell your younger self that this is what you don't have to do, and you will have the makeup to do the black thing, and you're going to have the black clothes and the cool hair that you want, I wouldn't, because I didn't I didn't have this shirt and I didn't do this hair or this makeup now because I wanted to look like emo or like Harry Potter or like any of it or like anime. This is just things that I like and that I feel good in it and I feel comfortable in it. This hair, I like it. Okay, it's not great. It came out a little bit rough, but it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. Again, it was just an experience. I learned things from it and trying to enjoy it. And then I'm going to take it off because nothing's going to stay forever and that's fine. I like black and I have so many black things. And now I have so many accessories, so cool accessories that I love. But I know that don't define me. That's just one way to express myself. That's just ways to tell you bits of who I am. Who I am is something that I need to know, not the rest of the world. I just like to share that in what I wear. But at the end of the day, if you're interested in someone, that things help, sure, but it's the conversation and it's knowing them behind, the facade that you actually, have people in your life that you care for. I think one of the greatest feelings now that I have is to just know that I am those experiences and I have taken from those experiences. And I also can also, don't feel too bad if I change my mind. Because you don't have to have a style. And I say this also with TikTok and with Instagram that, you see someone's page and they have these very defined things and you like that. And that's all cool if you want to have a very defined characteristic and aesthetic. That's cool, but you can also change your mind. And I think this is something that sometimes we kind of forget and we kind of expect things to be always the same. But again, you can change your mind. You can say, oh, well, that doesn't vibe with me anymore. And you change it, and that's fine. You can still take things from that with you. For example, right now, I'm trying to do a cute hairstyle to show the side white color that I have. White, I mean, it's kind of yellow to be honest, but whatever. And one of the things I'm going to use is I'm going to put a bow in it. I'm going to put, this thing. Why? I know this sounds like I'm bubbling, but I'm not. Basically, what I did was on a rubber band, I put on a bit of, what's the name of it? Velcro. That's the thing. I put on Velcro. So what I did was basically, I used things that I already had, which were random lace things, and I just did a nice bow and I attach, you cannot see it in this one, but you can see it here, a bit of Velcro. So I didn't have to buy things, I had all of that. And it's a great way to just, you can attach it, you can detach it, and you can put another one. So why is that important? Because like I said, this is something that I wouldn't have done if I didn't have had an experience with just DIY and just trying to do things and make things that work for you. Now these are my favorite colors: black, red, green. But if I change my mind, then I just can make it with another color, and that's it. Trying to take what you can from the experiences that you have had and just use them for yourself. I think I like the red one better. Touch of color. And here's the thing. A lot of the things that now I have, that are the things that when I was, younger, I was dreaming of having, and I was like, this is what happiness lies. I have them like this. This is a box of my contact lenses of various kinds, various types. And do I think this is the most precious thing that I have? No. Now I have them. I could afford them. And slowly but surely, the collection grew. But that's it. At the moment, for example, I'm not planning on buying any more because these are the ones that I like more. These are the ones that I use more often. And that's it, basically. I like the fact that As much as we like to pretend and say that things are not everything in life, we often behave in ways that contradict that. And this is, for example, one of the ways that I try to take a step back, which is basically saying just because I can now doesn't mean I have to buy absolutely every pair of contact lenses that are out there. Doesn't mean that I'm going to pretend to be like, oh, I don't need anything to be happy. No, but I can just control it. Yeah, this is nice, but that's it. I'll stop there. So yeah, I mean, if I was asked now, what's your style? I'd say maybe first of all, maybe not that lipstick. Yeah, I'd say perhaps Sirius Black and Elvira's adopted Latina child who also likes anime and it's kind of a whip, but knows its limits now. And also, it could change tomorrow, it depends. Sometimes I want to look like a vampire, and sometimes I don't want to look anything. I don't want to be perceived. So, yeah, it changes, and that's fine. I think that's kind of the whole point that I'm trying to make with this video is that even if now I kind of look like what I would have liked to look when I was younger, I don't look like this now, and I'm not happy now because I do. It's because I've been through a journey that has, allowed me to realize that this is just makeup, this is just details about me that are just fun. This is not who I am, and that's it. This is not a defining thing of myself. I have many other things that I like and many other characteristics that you can always see when you just look at me. And the same goes for people around me. The way they dress or the choices they make are just one tiny part of the whole existence. And the thing is that we all go through journeys and we all like certain things more than others. And I think that it is important to one, respect when you're crossing limits, if you're using things or if you are saying things that might not agree with the things that they originate from. It is important to listen. For me, for example, it was important to be like, you being a whip, okay, Anna, you are saying things and acting in ways that's not your culture, you don't know shit, and you don't know anything. You are reaching over the line. And you need to have those moments of waking up. So I'm kind of using this as if you feel like you are, if you feel like sometimes when people say things about the way you look, that you get a bit really defensive, and you're like, no, but it's actually, are you getting defensive because you actually feel that it's a personal attack, or is it because you're kind of taking things that maybe you don't fully understand, but you feel that you have appropriated? It is important, and I don't want to give a judgment if you are and be like, oh, you're the worst person ever. Because again, I've been through it. I know that it is sometimes easy to fall into those things, and because you want to belong and you feel that a certain culture, a certain group of people have things that you like and that you feel that are interesting and that you want to take them. It is understandable, but just be aware of it. Take a step back and try to analyze things better and listen to the people that perhaps have more knowledge and have more relation with those things, and be open to listen to that, and sometimes be open to say, yeah, I fucked up, that's it. At the end of the day, I also think it is important to remember that you can change your mind. You really can. You don't have to choose something and go through the rest of your life like that. If you change your mind tomorrow, that's also fine. We're all gonna die and we're all gonna become the skeletons that we all are inside. So, yeah, have fun with it. Experiment. If you are in your teens or if you're even older, experiment. Sometimes messed up and sometimes it's fun to mess up because you realize, yeah, that was kind of funny and I should do it again, but it was funny and that's okay. Also have a bit of sense of humor, I think. I think that's it for today. I kind of like it. I don't think it's, the most interesting and cultural reset moment, but it's fun. So yeah, that's it. Okay.